Skelz, oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of In The Mix. You're in the mix with DJ Skelz and my co-host right here.
What's going on, everybody? It's Six Lows.
Man, we got a very special guest today. He's a family member, he's a brother, he's an entrepreneur, and just a badass motherfucker overall, man. We got the owner of The Closet, the one and only Mike Mills in the building, man. Let's go. Yes,
Let's go. I ain't gonna lie, with that intro, man. Yeah, you set the bar pretty high for this one, okay?
Man, bro, we fuck with you heavy, man. Thank you for doing this, bro. I appreciate you,
Absolutely,
man.
You know, you are, just like you said, we're family, bro. We got to do this,
Yeah,
man. I love everything y'all
Absolutely,
are doing.
man.
When you had hit me up to do this, I'm like, man, let's rock. I hit you last night at 2:30 in the morning,
Yeah,
just
man,
let
it's
you
like
know
2
we
in the morning,
rocking.
yeah.
2 days before Christmas, we're gonna do this interview.
Exactly, man. Yeah, I was in the studio and he's just like hit me up. I was making beats and shit. And he was like, "Hey, man, we still doing the podcast?" I said, "Man, fuck yeah, we still doing the podcast, bro." So,
You know,
yeah, I appreciate
gotta bring
you,
that
man.
big energy, you know what I'm
Exactly,
saying?
man. Hell yeah. But shit, how you been, man? What's been going on?
Man, everything's been good. Closing out this amazing year. You know, celebrating a little over 3 years over here at Johnny Dang's.
Damn.
We finally
That's
got the
wild.
sign on the building, which
Badass.
is
Yeah,
incredible.
man. It's
You
amazing.
know, from starting this inside the condo to coming over here with my team and, you know, building it to what you're seeing right now.
Exactly.
It's been a journey, and this has been a great year,
Yeah,
though.
man, of course, yeah. And for the audience, can you explain to them exactly who you are and what you do, man?
Absolutely. So my name is Michael Mills. I'm one of the owners here at The Closet, HTX. We are a storefront located in Houston, Texas, on the entire second floor of the world-famous Johnny Dang & Co.
Johnny
You heard that
Dang,
right.
yes,
the
sir.
one and only, the jeweler,
Yeah.
Mr. Johnny
Yeah.
Dang, the one that OT got the gold black off.
Exactly, man.
That guy.
Johnny Dang, man. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Man, so how did you build that relationship in order to be here at Johnny Dang?
Man, it's a great question. So, man, I've known Johnny for a long time, right? But me, myself, as far as getting with him, I got into the fashion thing around 2016, 2018. Drake releases a song called Mob Ties.
Yeah.
And when I heard the song, I have a really good relationship with Jay Prince Jr. and my Rap-A-Lot family. Shout out to all them.
Shouts
And
out.
I called Junior up and I said, yo, this song to me is bigger than just a slogan. It's bigger than just a song. I feel that we can put a movement behind this and we can really kind of emulate it to a streetwear brand.
Yeah.
So Junior's like, yo, like, you know, well, what do you think? I'm like, what we should do first is do like a series of special engagement, limited engagement pop-up events.
Yeah.
So we did the first one right down the street at the studio spot. And then in 2019, I hadn't heard from Junior after a year. And I'm like, yo, hey, man, we got to do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
And he
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
and I go, but last time you had me pick location. This time you picked the location. And he said, let's do it at Johnny Dang's. I looked at him. I said, Johnny's going to want a bag to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
respect,
definitely.
right?
Yeah,
Johnny
respect,
Dang.
of course, yeah.
And Junior looks at me and says, let me handle that. Well, when Jay Prince Jr. tells you that, all right, bet. I'll let you handle it.
Let
So
you handle it, yeah.
I get the call from Junior that it's on. So we did the pop-up here at Johnny's in 2019. 3,000 people come here within about the first, you know, few
Damn.
hours, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
and within the first 30 minutes, Johnny pulls me aside and says, you should put your store upstairs. And
Wow, just like that.
Man,
just like that, I kind
Wow,
of like had
that's
to pinch
crazy.
myself because it felt like a dream. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
grew up, you know, I'm just turned 39 last month. I've been watching
Yeah, man.
Johnny on and off for, you know, 2 decades plus, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So when that moment happened, it was just kind of like it was a full circle moment, you know.
Yeah, man, that's amazing, bro. That's an
Hey.
amazing story, and just how that all just fell into place feels like it was meant to be.
You know, it's all, you know, the thing I'll say, Skelz, it's the word I can use is timing. Timing and consistency. You know, you had to be consistent to get here, but it was also about timing, you know, because even when we got Johnny to agree to do this with us, right,
Yeah.
and have the store up here, that was December of 2019. Well, what happens January 2020? COVID.
COVID, yeah.
And
Damn,
COVID was
that's-
roaring out here in Houston, Texas, and
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
one that was actually killing a lot of people. So instead of getting here like January 2020, we came in here June of 2020. So
Yeah.
even after I got the green light from Johnny, I
Yeah.
still had to thug it out at the condo for another
Yeah,
6
yeah.
months.
Yeah.
You know, and then we
Sell
came.
out
I
of there,
came in
yeah.
here the 2 weeks before June 15th. That's when we moved in here. Was June 15th, 2020. But
Gotcha.
I came in here in the beginning of June. I come in the doors. Johnny goes, Diamond Boy, and,
Yeah.
and he pulls a piece of paper out, literally from the drawer. I can't make this up. He's waving it. He goes, "Come to the VIP room. Let's get this done."
Yeah.
And I literally filmed the whole thing. But you know, we signed the agreement. And next thing I know, it, you know, we're in here.
That's beautiful, man.
And
That's,
you're
that's
originally
amazing.
from Houston, Texas, or where are you from?
Yeah, so I would, you know, I'm definitely Houston born. You know, I lived in Houston for about 3-4 years. I would say growing up is where you kind of went to middle school and high school.
Yeah.
So I actually was raised in Sugar Land.
Oh,
So
okay.
I went
nice.
to
Okay, yeah, you down the street.
Right down the street.
Yeah,
there.
right
you
down the
there.
street.
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
to Kimner High School. Shout out Maxwell Cream. He was class of 08. I
Yeah.
was class of 03. But
yeah.
I'm from the Sugarland area.
That's
what's
what's up, bro. Hey,
Yeah, so
yeah.
you definitely a native to at least the area and the culture and everything, man.
Absolutely. You know, grew up
Yeah.
listening to Paul and Slim, and
Yeah.
you know, so like,
Man, is that surreal working with them? And like,
man, I'll tell
I'm
you
sure
what,
that's like a blessing, right?
It's a blessing. Like even yesterday with Johnny's in Paul's Christmas drive,
Yeah.
after the event was done, I'm outside with Paul for a good 30 minutes and just having this amazing combo with him. And then obviously your brother OT came up here and they filmed their music video. And to be around these moments, I would definitely. It feels like an out of body experience still. You know, like I'm still so humble with this, and I mean, respectfully, I always will be.
Yeah.
But even around these moments, I still can't believe it. Even when
It's crazy.
you know,
man.
when I leave work or no matter what I'm doing, when I'm on the way home, I always FaceTime my mom. And it's like every time we have our conversation every night, it's the same thing. Like, what else is gonna happen next? You know, like what you know, like
bro.
today is amazing, but is this gonna be the best day? And then the next day happens and something big happens.
Yeah, something else big
you know,
happens.
the thing is the consistency factor. And I feel like, you know, myself along with my team, we're really consistent.
Mhm.
And even with you, like how you do music, it's the consistency factor. And that a lot of people that are gonna watch this, that's one thing that I could even tell y'all is at the end of the day, be consistent. Find something that you love doing, that you're passionate about, and be consistent. That's the number one word I can tell somebody is consistency.
Every time somebody asks me about advice and like music and like how they should go about it, or even like podcasting and stuff, I'm always like, man, consistency is key.
Absolutely.
That's like the most important thing that you can do, man. Do not give up and do not be lazy. Do not be content. Be consistent and always hungry, man.
I mean, you said I text you at 2:30 in the morning. What were you doing? What were you doing?
Yeah, I was making beats, man, in the studio.
And I mean, you're a guy that's already at that level. And at the end of the day, you still want to go further up.
Oh, for sure. But I was telling, I think it was him the other day, man, like this is just the beginning. Like I'm literally scratching the surface on where I want to be. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not going to tell anyone what's going to happen for 2024, but I will say it's going to be a very big year for y'all.
Hell
And a very big year for you because there's some big projects on the way. So
big projects, fucking bangers, and absolutely amazing things is going to happen, man. And I'm glad you're a part of the journey for that, bro.
And I appreciate it. To be included in the family it's incredible. Like I was telling you, like for me, when I post videos of OT and stuff, or even y'all, it's for me, I'm a clothing store. I don't make money off that. I do it because I feel like I'm part of something that is so special.
Yeah.
You know, like I call him, he's a generational talent, right? And everybody that's you can't, even though he's a superstar, right? You can't have a superstar without the team behind you.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
You know,
that's
so
just the way it works.
exactly. So to be able to say that, like, yeah, I can be a part of this team, it's incredible. You know.
Yeah, of course, man. And really, bro, since the first day that I met you, you've been a real humble guy. Been so friendly and so like welcoming. Man, I appreciate your friendship, bro.
Absolutely. Likewise. The feeling is absolutely mutual, you know?
Yeah,
man.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've been around y'all a couple times. You know, when I'm always with him. So whenever you're always around OT, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, what you think about Mike Mills on the podcast?" I said, "Bro, hell yeah." I said, "Bro, you're a loving person, bro. Like,
appreciate
you
that.
bring all love. You bring great energy to everything." So I was like, when he said, I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do that."
Yeah, man.
That'd be a great thing to do.
We're both very excited for it, bro.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
the thing is energy is such an important thing because you meet a lot. Even like a lot of guys are at the top. You know, they're so stiff, right?
Yeah.
And like, even though I'm just coming up myself. The thing is, like, that's why I look up to Paul. That was part of our conversation yesterday too. Was like, that's why I take pictures with my fans. That's why I'm always smiling. That's why I'm always engaging. There's never a time someone walks up to me and is like, "Hey, can I get a picture or can I get this little video?" that I don't do it for them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, I want to give them that good energy. So when they leave, it's a word of mouth factor. Like, Paul's cool as shit, man. He took a picture with me. He was super nice. And so like, I look up to even situations like that. Like, I want to be approachable. I don't want to be some stiff guy. Like, at the end of the day,
bro. Yeah.
You know, I'm not a rapper. Like, I happen to be in a cool position with what I do, but I love what I do. So it's like, how can I not give big energy to people that are showing love back, you know?
So yeah, of course, man. And with that being said, man, so I want to take it all the way back to the very beginning of your story. So like, how did you even get into the fashion like game in general?
Man,
you know,
I'll be
what
honest,
made you want to sell everything?
Hey, man, it's crazy, and I'm glad you asked. So, 2009, I go to TDC. I was locked up for 15 months in prison.
No shit.
Yep. Convicted felon. I hate to say it, but
I would have never guessed.
You know, it's part of my story. You know, I come from a crazy upbringing. I'm the grandson of Holocaust survivors.
Really?
My mother's
Wow.
Jewish.
Man,
You know, my
crazy.
father is a Cajun Christian from Louisiana. And blend the two together, and here I am. And I've always done sales my whole life. Been in sales on and off for about 20 years. And then when I got out of prison, I loved music, right? So my dream always was to open up my own music studio.
Oh, okay.
That was in 2012. It's a different era. Nowadays, anyone can get a mic. You can record at the house, as you know, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But back then, to have a studio was kind of a big deal. So I had like this little turnkey studio right at 59 and Fondren at the Arena Towers. It was great. But then I got a call from a buddy that I was locked up with and said, Mike, I want you to come sell motorcycles. So growing up, I didn't ever have dirt bikes and stuff. Mom didn't allow me to have that, which probably good because I didn't break any bones. But I'm not going to lie. I walked into the motorcycle dealership and I smelled the oil, the gas, the tires. And I'm like, I love this.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear. I was hooked from the moment I walked in. And shout out to Team Mancuso, because Mancuso Power Sports, the 12th largest dealership, really changed my life. So I sold all my music equipment and I went headfirst into this. And then over about the next 4 or 5 years, I worked for, Mancuso selling Kawasaki, Yamaha, Ducati, BMW bikes, all the coolest, the Can-Am,
that's crazy.
all the cool stuff.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what? I'm getting tired of doing bikes, pushing these bikes out every morning, having to getting there at 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna go sell cars. So I did cars for like a year and a half. And while I was selling cars, a lot of people go like, Mike, what made you want to, like you asked, what made you want to start this business? I'll be honest. I hated waking up early. So people think that I came in this for like a money or, for like some type of fame thing. I came in because I hated waking up early. So I was like, you know what? I want to get back into the industry. But like I said, everyone can do a studio thing now. I was like, well, who's doing fashion? I seen, Drake and Justin Bieber, a lot of these big artists wearing the brand Supreme.
Yeah.
So I kind of did my homework on Supreme. And I was like, okay, $42 or $48 shirt reselling for $100, $125. That's a business.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I had about $3,000 saved up. I bought some Supreme and Babe. I didn't even do shoes at the time. Even though you come in here, I was just the merch guy. I was just the merch guy. So I started selling the merch out of the car dealership. My boss comes up to me and goes, normally if someone has a side business that they're doing at the dealership, I would say something about that. Probably fire them. But his name was Mike too. And shout out to Mike from Expo Motor Cars. Mike told me, I think you should do this full time. So I called my mom and I told her, hey, I think I'm going to quit this job. Well, the thing is, I had already quit the job. Mom, if you're watching this, I had already quit. All right. And I said, I think I want to get into selling hype merch. She goes, what do you mean? I started sending her screenshots of different brands. And she goes, you're going to be in your 30s and 40s selling clothes and shoes. How are you going to start a family? And to this day, we still laugh about this. My mom knows. I told her, if I don't do this, someone else will. And since that point, 7 years later from that moment, I mean, look how many shops have not only sprung up in Houston, but all across the United States, especially during the COVID era. A lot of people hopped into resale. They were at their house. They had to drum up some business and make some money. The way I looked at it wasn't from a monetary standpoint. I wanted to do something where we could bring, because I loved music, right? So I wanted to do something where I could have access to these artists, but like parlay it. And that was really how the mob ties pop up and how we got to Johnny, how it all parlayed. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of like the beginnings. Was I didn't want to wake up early. I always, my grandparents, they survived the Holocaust. They came here. They made a life for themselves. They opened a sandwich shop.
Amazing.
It makes me super emotional talking about it.
Yeah, man.
My mom,
insane.
We shed a lot of tears even talking about this because it's like what I would give for them to see what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Sure.
I'm sure they would be absolutely proud, man. Especially to where they came from, and to look at you now, man, it's amazing.
I had a lot of doors that closed on me, but and that's thing that I'll tell y'all is that you may feel like you're backed into a corner, but if you have a good heart, right, and you're consistent and you do good business and you treat people the right way, you can bust open other doors. So just like what does Pimp C said, knocking those down, and that's essentially what I had to do to get to this position.
Exactly, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I can relate to that so much because coming from where you come from, me and OT's from Bay City, Texas, a little ass town, man. What we're doing right now is unheard of. Nobody's ever done that. I was just telling my girl about this morning. It was like the amount of people who talk shit about me and like was looking at what I did as like kid play and like you're not gonna be able to sustain that. And to look at where we are now, bro, it inspires me to go even harder. And I'm sure you can relate to that
Absolutely.
too.
And the thing is, like, for me, it's like creating like an ecosystem where it's like, Closet is like the bread and butter, but then like, boom, we have, we have our own podcast. We want to throw events. Eventually we like to do a second store. There's other things that we want to pull from it. Just like what you're doing is like, I bet I started off as a DJ, right? Yeah. But do I just want to just be a DJ and also make beats? No, I want to be a DJ. I want to be a producer. I want to have my own podcast. Like, there's other things that you can form in that ecosystem.
man.
You know, because to become a millionaire, you need really 7 streams of revenue, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely.
That's
crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, like to think about it, like you can't, you know, granted, I know guys like in the NBA and NFL, boom, they get it, they get their big bag, but that's such a small fraction,
Small
right?
percentage,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, small percentage of people, yeah. That's just, that doesn't happen, you know?
Nah, hell
And
no.
for us, we have, once one door opens, we have the opportunity to, like you said, bust down all the other doors and create streams of revenue, streams of entertainment, streams of just like things that we genuinely enjoy doing. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do too. And that's exactly what you're doing, bro. And that's why I look up to you and to what the fuck you have, bro. Your story is amazing.
I appreciate that. It was, it's a lot of hard work, and even though, like I said, I may be the face of this to get to where I'm at now, I couldn't do it without my team.
Without your team, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
like when I was at that condo, I was thugging it out, doing what I needed to do. But to get to Johnny Dang's, I don't get here first off. I don't get here at 11 a.m. even though we open at 11 a.m. You know, when shoes and merch comes in that we buy and intake, and you see them how they're all beautifully wrapped, and the shirts are covered in plastic, and they got the barcode on. That's not me doing that, right?
Yeah.
So you know, there's so many different faucets that this business needs, and without having the team behind it to handle that, this is impossible up here.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This takes like a whole army to do this.
Absolutely.
You know, and especially how everything is. If you guys haven't been to the closet, you need to make your way down
Nah,
here because it's
it's-
absolutely amazing here.
Nah, this is my
You know what
first
I'm
time
saying?
in here, and I'm like, damn.
What do you
this
think?
is- Nah, this is hard.
The
I
first
like
thing you
this. I
told
like
me
this
was
a
like,
lot.
man, I want to go shopping. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
shop.
You get the wow factor,
Oh
right?
yeah, hell yeah.
I know when you first walk in, there's a lot going on in here. You know, when we first opened it, you know, we didn't have all these racks up. It's funny, like even some of the racks that are over here that all the hoodies are hung on, those are all the original racks from inside my condo that I used to fan
No
out
shit.
every
Yeah.
single day when people would come through, and I'm sitting there looking on Instagram so that's like for me, like I didn't get the walk up traffic because I'm inside my apartment, right?
Uh-huh.
So I would literally just look, if someone DM'd me and set up an appointment, I would just look on the Instagram like, yo, is this person gonna rob me? Like,
yeah.
And as long as
You
they didn't look
definitely
like
have to
they were gonna
have
rob
that.
me,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
could come
Have
shop,
to
you
have
know?
that
Yeah,
down,
You know, so it was humble beginnings, you know, but it really I feel like it helped me solidify my name out here.
Mhm.
It and people that were part of that era can respect it when they come up here like, yo, man, to watch what you came from. Like
Yeah,
people just
exactly.
don't
Yeah.
know. They see the glitz and the glory that we do here at Johnny's, which
Yeah.
I'm thankful for. But even then, being here at Johnny's, from when we came in here in 2020 to where we're at now in 2023, to me, and I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this can feel it, it's been a dramatic change.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
and again, I can't thank Johnny enough for literally changing my life. You know,
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
saying that I couldn't have done this elsewhere,
Mhm.
but to do what we did here and have his stamp on it, and I look up to him so much because even he just turned 50 last month, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
To watch this guy at 50 years old and he's still here and he's still riding the slips, still in the back.
Mhm.
He's very hands-on
He's
with his
working.
business.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he's
So what
working.
that told me is this will never be passive income.
Absolutely.
You
not.
will always have to be in the trenches, right?
Mhm.
Hey, but at the end of the day, at least when you ride down Richmond Avenue, you know you're pulling up to this building.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
armed security in the front. You
Mhm.
got your beautiful
yeah.
store upstairs. I mean,
Absolutely.
life
more
would
than
be
you ask for.
it's a blessing.
It's a
Life would
blessing.
be a lot worse, you know?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
more
yeah.
can you ask for, man?
So,
Yeah.
were you always into like fashion, like as growing up in Sugarland and middle school and everything? Because I see you got
Yeah,
the gathering
yeah,
on,
you know,
So I see
yeah,
you
I appreciate
really got
that.
that shit on though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so-
really got that shit on.
I see you got it on.
You know, growing up, you know, when those Jordans used to drop, they weren't retros. Those were the actual
Yeah.
Jordans that used. So you know, back then, I think the cost for a pair of J's was like around $90 to $100.
Wow.
So I was always I was really originally more of a shoe head.
Mhm.
But then like as I got out of that, and I kind of not necessarily that I lost my taste for fashion, but when I was in college and stuff, like this was 06 to 09, like I didn't really care about
Yeah.
it. And then when I got out of prison, you know, I didn't really have a ton of money.
Yeah.
But when I started getting into selling cars, everyone was getting the newest Air Maxes.
Yeah,
That was like
yeah.
the hottest thing. And then they
Yeah.
got into doing J's. So then I started getting the taste again and started
Yeah.
getting back
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, yeah.
So I guess you could say it's
Yeah.
always been here, never
Yeah,
left. But
yeah.
for me, because of my age, shoes for me, it's more of a nostalgic thing now.
Mhm.
Okay.
So like when
Yeah,
I look
yeah.
at certain Jordans, like it brings me back to my
Like,
childhood.
oh shit, I remember when those dropped.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not about me just wanting to put it on so I could step and be like, yo, I'm the owner of the closet. I like these things because I grew up.
Yeah.
I grew up with a lot of these
yeah.
shoes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
important, you know?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
So how did you get the name The Closet? I've
It's a
always wanted that.
Nah, it's a good question. So I got a cousin that is an associate producer on the Dr. Phil show.
Oh, no
Shout
shit.
out to my
shit.
brother Eric, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll be honest, me and Eric haven't talked since 2016. You know, family's tough, right?
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
we both kind of butted heads. Hopefully, if he sees this, man, I miss you, bro. I love you.
Hell
You know,
yeah,
and
man.
we had a talk, and he said a comment to me. He goes, because I was like, man, what should I name? He goes, Mike, think about this. He goes, imagine you're in a gas station, right? And I'm dressed like this, and
Mhm.
someone like you is like, yo, I love your outfit. Where'd you get it from? And let's say you're walking out the door,
Mhm.
and you only have a second or two. You need something that rolls off the tongue quick. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I want to do something that incorporates Houston,
Yeah.
and I want everyone to have the flyest closet. And I was like, Houston closet,
Yeah.
and my cousin was
Yeah.
like, that's it.
That's it.
He goes, I love that name.
Yeah.
So I was like, are you sure? He goes, I love it.
Nah, that's
So
hard though.
that's-
It's basic.
It's
but
hard.
It's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then the
Simplicity
reason why
sells.
we took off the word Houston when we came in here is because respectfully, one day we want to branch this out past
Yeah.
Houston.
Past
So
Houston, yeah.
you know, like maybe a Los Angeles closet, Miami closet.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
you know, it's just keeping within the brand, but it's always still gonna be Houston closet
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's how
Yeah,
we
yeah.
started.
That's
you
where you
know?
started,
That's
and
the
that's where
original,
you're from.
yeah.
A lot,
Yeah.
even when Maxwell comes in, like he knows it's the closet HTX, but even when he does like a video or something, he man shout out Houston closet. You
Yeah,
know?
Yeah,
Houston closet.
yeah,
I think I
Yeah.
gotta change my Instagram handle just so people don't
Probably,
get them mixed
yeah,
up.
yeah,
but
definitely.
that's just like the OG page.
Yeah,
and
for
I'm just
sure.
so tied
It's
to
one
it.
of those things, yeah, you just don't want to let it
Yeah.
I
go.
know,
Yeah.
man. You know, that was my
No, I
that's still my
understand.
baby.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course, man,
you
of
know.
course.
So
Absolutely. And so, is it hard running a store constantly every single day, or is it like gotten a lot easier?
you know what? Kind of a
'Cause-
little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Because like I feel like not a lot of people have the experience of actually owning something like this, and so I just want to get your insight on how your everyday mind works when you're
Oof.
coming to work. You know, what I'm saying?
like I said, I'm blessed to have such an amazing team that allows me to come in a little bit later.
Mhm.
So I usually get here like around 2 or 3.
Okay.
So like mentally when I come in, I don't have like those stresses that you have like having to come here early bird, like, and luckily because I have the team,
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
usually
Yeah,
done when I come
yeah.
in. So now like when I come in and I need to delegate what I need to, it's a little bit easier. So in that in retrospect, it is easier now, but then it's also harder because with us getting bigger, right, and me wanting to take on a role of not just a store owner but a content creator,
Yeah.
having a podcast like we have with 97.9 The Box, and then obviously being around OT and these really cool moments.
Yeah.
You know, that part has gotten harder, and I guess you say the hardest part now is actually delegating the time that I need. Period, because we only have 24 hours a day,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Oh, yeah.
man.
You know,
And you're starting to be a personality
absolutely.
of the closet and yourself, like Mike Mills. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at first I thought you were already a personality. You know what I'm saying? An
I
Instagram
appreciate that.
influencer. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it.
So the fact that, you know, you also are a store owner, but you're also going into different lanes, I know that can be tough sometimes, bro, because this shit's not easy.
It's not
The
easy. And I mean,
entertainment is not easy
I was
at
gonna
all.
say, even you being a producer and doing what you do as a DJ, and then
Yeah.
you having to go on tour, I think
Yeah, it's
you
just
can
tough,
also
man.
relate on the time aspect of
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
you know.
it's
And I mean,
ridiculous.
like, you know, especially if you have a girlfriend and family,
Yeah.
mom, dad, you know, you wanna see all them. You wanna
Oh,
have
yes.
those moments, but
That's
at the same
honestly been,
but
yeah,
at,
like
but at the same
tough part.
time is of the essence. And
Yeah,
while
for sure.
and while the fire is hot, you gotta get it going.
Get it
Yeah,
going.
So that's
yeah.
how
I'm
so that's
telling you,
kind of
yeah.
like where I'm at with it. Is like it's kind of like, you know, I don't have time really for anything else. As you know, I don't
Yeah.
ever go outside.
Mhm.
When I come here do what I do, I go home. You know, even when I seen Slim Thug at the OT video shoot, Slim looked at me and goes, "You're outside." He looked at OT like he couldn't believe it. You know,
I couldn't
so
believe you were there, man.
it was you know, right now it's more about just hunkering down. Even with this upcoming year,
yeah.
you know, is to do more for the business and push us, you know, a little bit further. Because
Of course,
I
yeah.
want to open a second store, a third store. You know, we want to do other
Absolutely.
things than just this. Like I you know made a post the other day. I said this is becoming more than just a resale store.
Mhm.
You know,
Definitely.
I don't want to
I wouldn't
just.
even call it a resale store.
Yeah, I
to
would
be
call it
honest,
just
you know
a-
what I'm
just
saying?
a
I mean,
store, you know what I'm
technically
saying?
that's
It's
what
like-
it is.
Yeah.
But
It's a
but you know, it's just like
the
the
closet.
culture
Yeah.
behind it, the culture behind the closet and what you've created and what your team has created, bro. It's more than just a resale
Oh,
store.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
that was like that was really our big vision with this is we wanted to do something that was transformative for the culture
Mhm.
because
Absolutely.
obviously, you know, when I went to LA and New York initially and I had seen the shops out there, right? That was kind of what gave me the inspiration on how to set it up here. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I was tired of just New York and LA getting the shine, but Houston has this bustling economy.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah.
never
You know?
understood that because like Houston never got any love. At least when I was growing up, and I seen like when I was always into rap and always into music and stuff, and I feel like Houston never got like that mainstream love, until pretty recently.
Well,
actually.
it's the synergy. Just like when people say like, how can Atlanta have everyone working together, but then Houston's so divisive? And really, and I bring up Pimp C again because he was the one that was trying to knock down these doors so other artists would come together. And I finally feel like we're in an era where people can appreciate that. Yo, look, like if we come together and do this, we can do so much more bigger things than if we were to just be a bunch of gatekeepers,
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So yeah,
I feel like that was the culture at one point. It's like gatekeeping.
Yeah,
like everybody wanted to have their own shine, not spread it with anybody else.
Right. And you know what's funny? I really think COVID also made people appreciate that, like, hey, to be out and to be around other people and to be able to live life and because we were home for so many months,
Bro,
know, and so I feel like that also made people appreciate others. So like, now I still feel like Houston still has a ways to go.
Yeah.
But obviously guys like that Mexican OT and a lot of these up and coming artists are helping knock down that old mentality.
Most definitely.
And show that like, hey, we can come together. And if we blow the city up, we all blow up.
Unstoppable too, bro. Yeah,
absolutely. And even me, even though I'm not a rapper, like I feel the same way even towards other shops. Like back in the day, I used to be like, man, it's me, fuck the world. Fuck these other shops.
Bro, that's how I was too as a DJ. I was like, man, fuck all them other DJs.
If you ain't riding with me, you're against me.
Exactly.
But even then, like last weekend, we went to Sneaker Summit, their big event at NRG, which is Man, someone just walked past, guys, and broke the camera, but we know we had to finish this interview, so let's go. Hey, a broken camera can't rate on this parade, huh?
Absolutely not. You made this shit happen.
gotta keep with the good energy, right? Like I said.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we're back to In the Mix. Let's go.
What I was wondering the other day was, how did you get involved with this?
Funny story, bro. This is a funny story, bro. Let's listen to this. So I was actually at the Hyde Park 420 event, right? And I was with one of my buddies, and they're like, Mike, you should go up to this guy. He's killing it in Houston right now, doing big things. And I already had heard a little bit of his music too. So I walked up to him, right? Very nice guy. But when I walked up to him, even though he was smiling the whole time, when I walked up, that smile kind of disappeared. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, hey man, my name is Mike from the closet. He daps me up, kind of stiff. He goes, actually, I know who you are. He goes, and y'all ain't fucking with me at the class. And I was kind of, he was dead ass, bro, like staring at me, like, y'all don't fuck with me. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, man, I came in, I know I wasn't that big, but like, no one showed me no love. And I'm like, bro, like my heart dropped. Cause I'm like, that. Y'all know, that doesn't sound like us, right? So I'm like, man, come see us. I promise you, I'll give you that experience. I started giving him that energy. He started smiling, right? So funny story. We did our first podcast for Clearly Cultured with J Mac and Young Jess from 97.9, just sitting down right here. And I bring that up, right? And I was like, man, he didn't have the best time the first time. He goes, Mike, I forgot to tell you, it was a different story.
Oh, man.
Of course, right? You know what I'm saying? Of course, Virgil. So I'll say that 420 event we really locked in, and then like after that he came up here. We gave him that energy, that family persona that I feel like the closet gives off so well. My guys really like him too, and then that's the thing now is like not only do me and OT have a relationship, but even at the show that y'all did in Houston, he's on stage, and I think he only shouts out his father. And then he looks in the crowd, my guys are out there, he says, and shout out to Shy, Ben, Phoenix, and Hazel from the closet. And I'm not gonna lie, like moments like that is really like that full circle shit. Because even my guys, it's like, people will come and show me love or whatever, but to show my team love and to put them up on that pedestal. So we really just kind of met earlier this year, even though obviously I had seen him, even know what he was doing beforehand. But our paths ended up crossing, and then I ended up, I went to a couple little studio sessions with him, which, as you know, being there firsthand, those are incredible moments, So he was cool with me filming. I guess he knows that I like to make content. Like I tell him, I'm not around for clout. The reason why I film so much when I'm around you, again, is like I feel that we're giving something to somebody that they don't normally get to see. And I feel like I'm around something that is so special because you are a generational talent. That is a big word to label on somebody, right?
Yeah, it is. That's true.
But am I lying?
You're not.
So I feel like now we've gotten to a point now where like 12:30 at night, he FaceTimes me and he'll be like, he's got his feet up. He's like, look how I set up the bear bricks, or look how I set my room up.
Yeah.
You know, so like now it's more like I told him, like you didn't have to spend $1 here, right?
Yeah.
And I would still want this relationship and be friends with you and do what we do. But I love that he likes this stuff too. Not excuse me, doesn't like, he loves this stuff too. And as you know, at his sanctuary, at his home, it is like another closet. It's a museum there now.
It's a museum.
You know, and he's really on that nostalgic wave too. Like even with the bear bricks, which he calls the brick babies, which are they're Japanese collectible toys that are mirrored after bears. But they actually have these licensings with Disney and Marvel and stuff that he grew up with. So he has kind of a bond to a lot of this stuff. So I feel like he has fun doing what he does. I have fun doing what I do. It's kind of, even though it's on different sides of the spectrum, it's all on the same wavelength. So yeah, I feel like we mesh really well, and we go to Chama Gaucha a lot. Shout out to Chama Gaucha. There's two things that OT. There's two things that OT doesn't share, respectfully. And that's his drink, and that is the mashed potatoes from Chama Gaucha. and the fact that I even know that shows that, hey man, we're good for his time.
Man, that's amazing, bro. Yeah, and through that, thankfully, we formed a relationship with the club.
Absolutely.
I'm very thankful for that, bro.
It's something that's very personal to me. Obviously there are things that I can't say on camera that we've got to be involved in. And moments like that, I'm ultra grateful for, and experiences that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. But even a guy like him, 24 years old, and how old are you? So I mean, you gotta think, I'm really 15 years plus over y'all, but at the same time, it's crazy, right? When you think about it in hindsight, it's crazy.
You don't live 39.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So we had a birthday dinner in Chama, right? And I pulled up, and I was like, bro, how old are you? How old are you turning? He was like, 39. I was like, no fucking way. No way.
And see moments like that, him and Jody both pulled up to my birthday dinner, and I'm not gonna lie, I'll never forget that. Because this is my last birthday before I hit 40, right? So it's like the 30s is really the culmination of living through your 20s and seeing the things you go through. Like I gotta say, what I would give to be your age, and to be having this knowledge and doing this. But it's all about, what's the word I use? Timing. Consistency and timing. It's not on my time, it's on his time. And at the end of the day, I feel like everything happens for a reason. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, I'm very grateful for this relationship. It's something very special to me, and I truly feel like we are family. And I know that there's a lot further for all of us to go. And obviously, with OT's greatness, it opens a lot of doors for all of us. So very grateful for that.
I got a question for you, man. Have you ever thought about rapping?
It's a funny story. Back in the days, the only time I had sip drank in like 7 years, I did it with Brandon Buckingham when he did the OT, and we just did it just so that I could feel what it felt like. So I could taste, right? Yeah. Guys, don't sip drink, but like back in the day when I would like kind of like mess with that stuff, it was just.
I feel like everybody had that rap.
Back then we would sit. I'd hop in my boys' Forerunner and we would freestyle. And believe it or not, like I could freestyle a little bit. Man. Just another day. Come on, just another day at that one-stop shop. We about to let it clock. I'm with In The Mix. The biggest they can suck on my.
Hold on.
Hey man, that Mexican OT. We just out here with another G.
Yes, sir.
Alright, man. That wasn't that bad. That was bad. I'm better with the beat. That was acapella. Send me one of those beats, alright? Then I'll wreck it for the people, man. Beat pack on the way. Eminem coming soon, baby.
Oh man. So do you have like a favorite shoe that you have here?
So I would say right now my favorite shoe in here would be the Nike Yarrito. I think I'm pronouncing this right. The Nike Yarrito Dunk. And I love the pineapple Yarritos. And it's just to me just an iconic collab. I love the SB Dunks. The fact they did something like that, it pops. It's one of my favorite shoes to drop in a while. I like that, and I like Travis Scott Jordans. I like the one lows. I have a bunch of them. My guys wear them as everyday shoes. Me, I'm a lot more low key. I leave them brand new in the box. I know as soon as I put them on, the value kind of changes. And I'm like, damn, do I really want to put on a $1,200 pair of shoes? Like, I know I could, but you know, I'm still low key even when I wear. Like, I started finally putting heat on. Before that, you can ask the guys. Every day I'd come in here wearing a pair of either Crocs or Yeezy foam runners. That was like my favorite go-to shoes to wear for like the last 2 years.
Comfort, bro.
Comfort. You know, when you're on your feet running around, you gotta be comfortable. You know.
Man, so with your store here, obviously, what are like some tools that you use or methods that you use to network to get people to come to the clothes shop?
You know, I will say obviously Instagram's huge. You know, it's funny, when I first started doing this, man, I didn't really have a ton of money, right? And even then I'm still hustling, right? Yeah. But I would give out a lot of free merch just to open those doors, right? Yeah. So like, and I'm not giving away like my own merch where I bought, like, let's say I made a t-shirt and I'm in it for $10. I'm giving away a Supreme shirt that I paid retail for that I'm about to be out $50 on. You know, and I'm blessing people just to get my name out. So I will say, or what's the saying is it takes money to make money, right? And I don't want to hinge on just the money side of it, but in this situation on the marketing side, because I wasn't spending money buying Facebook ads and Instagram ads, that was my form of marketing, was like basically using my network with rappers and celebs and people that I had these relationships with, and I would, you know, blessing them, and it kind of would just give them that wow factor to kind of like lure them in, you know. And I mean, even now, you know, obviously having a platform like this, I don't have to do like the free shit all the time, but just depending, like, you know, if Quavo comes by or Rod Wave or somebody, you know, I may bless them with something just to give them that first. That's initially how I got started, you know. Even with OT, you know, he comes and spins a bag in here, but I mean, you can even ask Ben, you know, my business partner. A couple days ago, we blessed him with a $500 pair of like these rare Air Forces, and they're like the Texas edition, and they're like this pat blue shoe. It came straight out of a mayor who's from New York, a big shoe collector. We got it out of his personal collection, and we just blessed, you know, Virgil, because we know he likes Air Force Ones. And again, you know, it's about just doing something nice for someone else. So I feel like that's one thing we're good at, is that we give people that experience. It's like when you go to an OT show, why do you love the show so much? He's not because he's like stiff, which he's not stiff. It's because of his personality and the experience you get when you're in that crowd and you're watching him do what he does. So when people come in here to Johnny Dang's, they see all the expensive shit downstairs, and then they come upstairs and like, damn, but you want to give them that experience. One thing I learned in car sales, and it was called lot hawking. So basically, I'm hawking the lot for a sale, right? The minute that they touch down up here, either me or my guys, the minute they walk in, guys, thank y'all so much for coming. Like you heard me even today. Happy holidays, thanks for coming in. You know, it's about giving them that personable experience.
That's what we're talking about. I came out saying, man, I'm in a lot of places, Vegas, Florida, Denver, and everybody, but it ain't nothing like the clothes, you know what I'm saying? You feel the energy, you feel the love, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about it, bro. Anyone that has money, bro, even if you don't have money and you wanted to buy something, you can go spend your money anywhere, right? The fact that you came and pulled up into my parking lot, walked upstairs, and came into my place, how can I not give you excitement? That excites me to this day still. Dude, we've done over 10 million in sales in 3.5 years, God willing, right? But to this day, every dollar spent, every person I see in here, I treat it as if it's the first dollar in here, you know?
Absolutely, man. That's a great mindset to have. That's
why you're at.
I appreciate that.
That's a business model that you have, man. And you know what, bro? I feel like it's a gift. Because you have it. You know what I'm saying? Some people will try to do it and like it just won't come off right. But it's absolutely natural for you, man. It's amazing to watch.
I appreciate that. You know, my mom and dad always said, you know, you got something that you really can't teach, Mike. You know, and I'll be honest, growing up, it got me in a lot of trouble. Because I was that guy that always was talking in class, making noises, kind of like that class clown. You know, now it's got me in a different position. I can kind of make money from it, right? But now I know how to use it, You know, but, you know, to even some people that may be watching this, man, you know, you don't have to necessarily be that person that talks all the time. You know, again, just find something that you're good at, that you're passionate about, that you have love for, and that passion will come over time. You know, me, you know, I love doing this, and I really don't see anything else I really want to do that gives me this happiness. So when I come in here, I'm gonna be talking. I'm gonna be happy. Just like when you come to Johnny Dang's. This isn't called Diamonds and More. It's called Johnny Dang's. It's his namesake. And now I feel like people not only know me as Mike Mills, but even when I walk around, like, that's the closet, man, closet. Like, they may not even know. They may not even say Mike Mills. Look at like, yo, what up, closet? You know, and I like that. It's part of the branding, and I feel like because we give that experience and we show that type of love, and it comes from a humble, authentic standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, I genuinely mean when I talk to people, when I have these moments with people, and people that are watching this, if you've had interactions with me, y'all know that it's authentic. And if you haven't had those experiences with me, if you ever see me and you watch this podcast, come up to me, because I love connecting with different people from all walks of life. I don't care the color of your skin, your gender, your age. I'm gonna give you the same way I am on here is the same way I'm in real life, and I know you can attest to that.
You know, you can. It's really it's refreshing at the same time, man. Especially in the industry that we're in, you see so many fake people, bro. So many cloud chasers, so many just people who are trying to get an edge on you so they can get up. You know what I'm saying? So it's very refreshing.
See it every day, and
Every single day.
And that's a great word that you just use, refreshing, because that's how I felt like when I met y'all.
Yeah.
And when I met OT, is that it's a refreshing sound. It's a refreshing personality, and that's why like it's been so successful. You know?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And like I see, like now you got it going. You know what I'm saying? The closet, but taking it back a little bit. You know, starting it off. You know, starting off with the Supreme and now with the shoes and everything. Was there any trials and tribulations? And looking back at it, how does that make you feel?
That's a great question. So trials and tribulations, you can probably put that in all caps, because I definitely went through that. You know, you don't get to this without that, right? I had 2 sets of business partners. Both stole from me. You know, I had one business partner that I felt really strong about, and he left from me, went in another situation. And crazy story, because I never wish harm upon anybody. A year and a half ago, I was watching the news, and one of the guys was murdered at his home. You know, leaves behind a family and kids. And but you know, the thing is all about timing. You know, I know where I've always wanted this to go, and the thing is me being someone that loves family and understands that you have to have a team to do this.
Yeah.
I was always looking for that perfect team, that perfect business partner that could get behind this and help, grow to the next level. So I feel like in a sense, I was always kind of like searching when maybe I didn't need to search. And maybe that's why I got in situations that I did. But I had multiple instances where, people were stealing from me. There's a store, the store's still here, They were supposed to be here with me. Now they're in like a used to be like, it looks like it could be an old smoke shop. I don't know. I see them at shoe events and stuff, like they kind of put their head down, they walk past me. Like, I don't care. Like, listen, man, we're all doing our thing. It's cool. There's no love lost. Again, I don't wish no ill will. It built who I was. But yeah, there was a lot, like, I know a lot of 2018 when the last situation happened. I had a blow up had a storefront at West Oaks Mall. Again, funny how timing works, because now West Oaks Mall is no longer, right? But I had a set of partners there. Again, same situation, stole from me, put me in a position where, I had to go back to the condo and bring it back to square one. But, that is what allowed this to happen. So even though we call it trials and tribulations, now what I look at it is, back in the day when you say L's, that was losses. To me now, L's are lessons. So the way I look at it now is like these were lessons to get to this point. So in hindsight, like I said, I don't wish no ill will to anyone that did do me wrong that could be watching this. It's all good. Thank you, because without y'all, I wouldn't be here.
Absolutely, man.
And I see your team now, and I see y'all also.
I love these guys, and I think I'll say it on camera, man. To be able to, like right now, today's December 23rd, right? And we've had an incredible year. They have done so much for this business. We're all taking a trip as a team to go to Las Vegas.
Yes,
for
sir.
that Mexican OT's performance in Vegas for these guys here too. So, moments like that is really what we live for. It's not about, obviously you gotta have your bread and butter sales, but also we do this because we love each other, right? Like I see these guys more than my own family, more than my own girlfriend, more than anybody. So, for us to be a cohesive, well-oiled unit, to me is so important. And it's not just about me. I'm watching these guys literally grow, Like now my guys are on a health wave, right? And this ain't just a wave, like they wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and they go and work out. And I'm watching physical transformations. I'm watching, my guys buy new cars and a new home and growing up, and my business partner now, he's a father. Like these are things that are everlasting. It's part of your legacy. And so for them to not only be here but not take a role as an employee, right? But as a role of being in this together, right? It's a family thing. So it's very important,
Well, very well put, bro. And I love that how passionate you are about that and about your team, man. And it inspires me to be that way with our team as well. You know,
you got to take care of your people, you know, because like what I always said, the sign of a true boss isn't how much one person has, but look around at his team. How much are they eating? Because if they're eating, right, then everyone's happy because everybody has to eat. It cannot be just one person. And I feel like what we built here allows that we've done together, and watching these guys grow, because they're around your age too, you know, so get to watch them grow up and be who they are. It's an incredible experience, even as a business owner and as a friend to them, you know.
Yeah, man. And I can tell you're an inspiration to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying, around people that come around, you know, you're an inspiration because, like I said, you give so much love, so much good energy, and a lot of people look up to you. And like I said, like Skelz, he just said he looks up to you. Like, just talking to you right now, bro, like I really do look up to you. Like what you got going on is real. You know what I'm saying? We ain't faking the funk. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, man. I really started from nothing. I built this out of a 950 square foot condo. I had everything thrown against me, being a convicted felon. You know, going through the trials and tribulations that I just shared with y'all. You know, when I was talking to my mom, 2018, tears in my eyes, crying on the phone, like, you know, like I don't know, you know, what I should do. Like I don't want to leave because I've already made a stamp in this. You know, so it was about the adversity too. Like when you get in these situations and you feel like you're backed into the corner. That what you do from there is really shows who you are as an individual, and knowing who I came from and my grandparents, like they didn't fold, right? My father didn't fold, my mother didn't fold. You know, my sister, you know, she's doing, you know, great things. She's a mother now. She's got 2 with 1 on the way. Like, so I look at even my immediate family and see how they like I come from a family where we don't allow things to take us under, right? We persevere. So, you know, I feel like in this instant, I was able to persevere and build such a beautiful thing with the most amazing team and meet the coolest people. And for that, like I really thank the stars and thank God every night for it. You know, I mean it.
Yeah, being grateful for everything that you have and everything that you're gonna have, man. It's something that you definitely need to do, and that goes for everybody. You know. Is there anything that you want to tell the audience, like anybody who's trying to become a reseller or just do anything outside of like the box? Generally.
Absolutely. So whether you want to start even a resale business or even just your own clothing business, or let's say you're even an artist that's looking to come up, first and foremost, I'm going to use that word, be consistent, right? So every single day, if you aren't putting something into your business, you're losing a day. You know, yes, it takes money to make money. No, you don't need a whole lot of money, but at least, even if you have to get a normal 9 to 5 to build that capital to allow you to do the things that you want to do. I've had to tell a few of my friends, you know, that have had great business ideas that like, man, I got this idea, I really want to do it, but like, man, I'm like, listen, you can get to that. Work that job, build the capital up, save up, and then go and do that. Because yes, another stress of becoming an artist or owning your own business is you have to have that money in order to, because I mean, obviously, you know, marketing, right? I mean, if you're in a place like this or you have like a spot that you want to have, you got rent, you got your bills, you got your phone bill, your car bill, your mortgage or your rent. I mean, there's other things that it's life, right?
Yeah, just life.
You have life, so you have to be prepared for that. So I feel like with proper planning and proper execution, you can do amazing things. But yes, ideas, it all starts with an idea. But when you formulate what you want to do, don't do it just for the money. Do it for something that you know that you're gonna love, that you're passionate about, and that you can see from a longevity standpoint that I can see myself doing this in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but at the same time, you still have to live day by day. Don't allow thinking about the future, don't allow that to swallow you up and make you like depressed or like, man, I wish I could be, because obviously we live in a day and age on social media where like you see someone like, man, I wish I could be him, or I wish I had this chain or this car or this house, or, you know, I even look at a lot of resale stores like, man, I wish I had this place or this place, you know, I would love to already have a second store, but at the end of the day, I focused on what I knew I loved, and we built it up. And no matter if, like I said, if it's a resale store or a retail brand or an artist, what I did here can be used on all that.
Absolutely.
You know, even with OT, it was consistency. This guy's been making music for a minute, but then all of a sudden, he was consistent and he caught that break. And hearing his old songs, like I told him, the only thing that I hear different is just your voice because you've gotten older. You know, when you're 16, 17, 18, your voice is gonna sound different versus when you're 24. You know, but it was all the foundation that he laid during that time that now like they see the OT they see now, but that's not the same OTs that came up from back then. It was a lot of trials and tribulations coming up. You know, he lost his mother and having his father in prison, and you know, but he stuck with that mindset and he stayed focused, which is that's another word. You have to stay focused and determined. There's so much stuff out here that'll throw you off. And for me, what it took for me was I didn't go out. So I don't do clubs. I don't drink alcohol. I don't go to strip clubs. Shout out to Area 29. I still love what they doing. But I don't go to any of these spots. I lock in. Like when I'm here, I lock in. I do what I need to do. When I'm home, that's my time to unwind. But I'm also working even when I'm there. You know, that's what I'm saying. Another thing now is I'm getting into doing content creation. So that's why I was asking you, like, how do you edit videos? Because that's the next thing I'm gonna kind of learn. Is even though I got amazing videographers, I want to still be hands on with what I'm doing. So. And that's the thing is, even for me, doing something 6-7 years later, you still have to be hands-on. There's nothing passive out here anymore. And we now are in a day and age with the economy that nothing is passive anymore. You have to be out there actively putting into your business, and every day that you don't, you're losing a day. Again, guys, remember we only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Hey, today's already December 23rd. Can you believe that in less than a week we're gonna be in 2024?
24, man. Yeah, it's insane.
But we were just talking about COVID, 2020. That was four years ago.
It feels like it was like last year. It's time. Like it was just.
Yes. Next thing you know it, bro, we'll have another interview and you'll be in your 30s, and you're gonna be like, remember when I was 25 and you did that interview? Remember when you were 39 years old and now you're 45? Don't remind me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to bring up that you want to promote to the people?
You know what, man? I just want to just give a major shout out to Ben, Shy, Phoenix, Azel, Peanut, my entire team over here at the closet. Major shout out to Johnny Dang. Major shout out to my mother. I love you. Dad, I love you. Holly, my sister, I love you. All my friends, everyone that's been behind me through this. My guys right here, because this right here is what really connects the culture. You know, I love watching podcasts. I love watching interactions. I love watching people be vulnerable, you know, and just talk about things that I feel like, you know, normally you don't talk about. You know, when we're out and about, it's usually like, we're like, So it's good that we can like sit down.
I love this stuff. Actual conversation with somebody.
Absolutely. So, you know, I mean, I don't really have anything I want to promote aside from just wait till 2024 and my brother Skelz, OT, my entire team, even in the mix. Hey, this is going to be the best year on record. Absolutely. And if you haven't seen us, make sure you come see us. 6224 Richmond Avenue, a Houston institution, the one-stop shop located at the world famous Johnny Dang's. We appreciate it, Johnny.
You want to shout out your socials or anything?
Oh, yeah. Follow us, Closet HTX, my personal page, Houston Closet. That's the only 2 pages that matter when it comes to us, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for watching, subscribing. We fucking love you. Thank you for tuning in. We've been in the mix with DJ Skelz.
This is 6 Lows.
And we got Mike Mills in the building, man. We love y'all.
Happy holidays, guys.
And we finna shop, so y'all stay tuned.
We open the shop.
That was great, bro.
That was awesome.
Awesome interview, man. I can't wait to see that one shot, though.
Appreciate it.